Hey everyone, it's Paul with the Tuesday Bull Profits. So today I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes, if you will, and talk about how we go about picking big winning stocks. Many people ask me, hey Paul, what's the secret behind picking big winning stocks? And today I'm going to share that secret with you. And there's 5 elements to it, 2 of which I've repeated a lot, and many people know. 3, I repeated a little bit here and there, and I'm going to go through it using an example. However, before I do that, want to reiterate a few things. Number 1, this YouTube channel is here for information purposes, engagement purposes. It's also here for entertainment purposes. It's opinion that we give out. We use it to promote our services. In other words, I represent a publishing company called Bull Profits. We have 8 investment newsletters. We focus largely on stocks. We also have a few that focus on options. And that's the express purpose of this YouTube channel. It is not intended to be financial advice of any kind or sort. We are not licensed financial advisors, so anything you see on this channel is purely information, purely engagement, opinion, entertainment, if you will, of a financial sort. Second thing is that anything that we talk about, whether it be me, my amazing colleague Amber Lancaster, my incredible colleague Ian Dyer, all of us, what we talk about generally trades, speculations, investments that require some number of years. That's right, years for whatever it is that we are seeing to unfold. So if you're looking for day trading advice, second trading advice, minute trading advice, or very short term, week to week, month to month kind of trades and that kind of stuff, we're the wrong place for you. We're the wrong team for you. We're the wrong group for you. There's hundreds of thousands of channels that are very focused on day trading, and you will get much better information from those folks than from us. Third issue is that in today's world, there's an extraordinary amount of scam activity going on. If you look through the YouTube channels regularly, either in my name, in my colleague Ian's name, or even just other folks will put up WhatsApp numbers, claim that they have something to offer you. And we just want to tell you that we are never going to ask you for money. If somebody's asking you for money, that's a scam. It's a fraud. They're asking you to send Bitcoin. It's the same thing. It's a scam. It's a fraud. So any comments you see below telling you that there's, that they can do something for you, this is a scam and it's a fraud. And please never send money to anybody on the internet. We sell subscriptions. And if you're interested in my flagship publication, it's called Profits Unlimited. Focus mostly on stocks. We do have a few cryptos in there as well. There's a link below to profitsunlimited.com, and you can subscribe to us. And that would be the sort of first step into our world of subscriptions. We have, as I mentioned, 8 others that you can also try out. All right, so now on to the subject of this video, which is picking stocks that can go up huge. And what are the elements to it? So I decided to actually use an actual example from our current Profits Unlimited portfolio. We have been in AMD since July of 2018. And I want to look this up right for making this video. We bought in, at least based on our recorded price. And remember, we're running a model portfolio. We have a price of $81.62. Some folks that subscribe to us will have prices that are lower. Some people have come in after we put it in. In July 2018, we'll have slightly higher prices. Nonetheless, from our recorded price, we're up a little under 400% based on where AMD currently stands. So what was the basis of getting into AMD? So if you go and look at the AMD chart over the last 5 years, you'll see that AMD is up nearly 2,200% over the last year. So the last 5 years. That's right, 2,200%. So this is a very clear, massive, huge winner. So one of the things that you'll see immediately is that 2,200% is never going to come in a day or a month or a week. It came over some number of years. And if you go and look at the chart, you'll also see that during this period of time, there were minimum multiple 20% corrections, 30% corrections. There's a 50% correction. There's even crashes. In other words, you're never going to get a big winner without sitting through volatility. So that's one of the key elements to it. You have to have a long-term So that's number one. You have to have some time frame. We put all of our trades into our model portfolios for a minimum of 1 to 3 years. That's minimum of 1 to 3 years. And the second element is that we ride through volatility. There are lots of people that use trailing stop losses, all kinds of things. We never do that. We instead guide people how to endure through the volatility, set their portfolios up to have a portfolio that can allow them to sit through volatility and make the big money over time. So I went through the first two things that people already know about. You got to have a time frame that is in years, minimum 1 to 3 years. Second, you have to be willing to buy into a portfolio. We tell our folks minimum of 5 stocks and set it up where you can sit through the volatility, which is inevitable and will come at you. And it will be far bigger than you think. It will be 50%. It will be 60%, sometimes be 70%. Nonetheless, if you want to make 1,000%, 2,000%, you've got to sit through it. All right. Now, here's the part that I know everybody's been waiting for. What are the other critical parts to it? Which is that the big thing that really changes for a stock when you're having a big winner is that the price to sales ratio of a stock will start to really get higher and higher. And you can go look at AMD is a great example. At the beginning, in other words, when it was barely moving, AMD had a price to sales ratio of something under 4. Truthfully, from tracking it, it was well under 2 at various points in time. And at that point in time, obviously, if you were a buyer, you were buying in when most people believed that AMD was going to be a middling stock. There was nothing to it. However, look what happens over the 5 years. It gets to as high as 12 times in terms of price to sales. And what is happening here? In other words, every dollar of sales that AMD is generating is now being valued, instead of being 1 or 2 or 3 or something under 4, it's being valued at 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or even 12 times sales. So that's really one of the secret sources of gains. You need to find a stock where the price to sales ratio is going to go up. And obviously you want to buy it when the price to sales ratio is very low and where it can rise. And now the very natural question is that, well, what is going to make it rise? Why are people willing to only pay 2 times price to sales, say 5 years ago, and now they're paying 8 times in terms of price to sales, or they paid as much as 12 times price to sales quite recently, as you can see from the chart. And in my experience, in my judgment, the critical factor is sales growth. And you can see on this chart here, which is that AMD has consistently over the last 5 years had very strong sales growth. 20%, 40%, even higher. And that is the thing that draws growth investors and draws them in and makes them bid prices higher. So you want to see strong sales growth. Now, there is one small catch to this, which is that you have to have that sales growth be something that you anticipate. In other words, before it starts to really get bid up to get the benefit of the big gains, like 1,000%, 2,000%, you have to know something about the company that is going on, whether it be new products, new services, some change that has occurred that the stock market has not yet priced in. And that's how you are able to buy in where the price to sales ratio is 2. And then as the earnings growth unfolds, growth buyers come in, and they are willing to bid the price to sale ratio higher and higher and higher for the same dollar of sales that is coming in through the door. So the place where you would learn about this, where you can find out about something going on in the company, which is the 5th element to this, is that you need to read into trade journals. For example, if you're following semiconductors and chips, EE Times is a fantastic trade journal to read. They talk about technical developments, technical changes that are coming, big shifts that are going on within each company. And in truth, if you were following AMD, you would have known several years ago that they had their Ryzen chip, which was becoming the fastest chip available to anybody. And they were beginning to take market share from Intel, even in the server market where they had no market share. So today, AMD is clearly the technology leader. They've got the fastest chips out there. Of course, it's now 5 years later and the stock is 2,200% higher. However, we still own it in our portfolio because these changes sometimes can last very, very long periods of time. So that's really what drives our stock picking. We're looking for these kinds of stocks. In other words, something that we can be in for a minimum 1 to 3 years. Second, there is something going on in the stock that makes it well worthwhile to sit through the volatility. In other words, there is something incredible going on that can generate massive gains. So you want to sit through the volatility, build your portfolio to endure through it. And then, as I mentioned, you want to buy when the price to sales ratio is fairly low in anticipation of it being bid much higher. Third, you want to anticipate sales growth and have that actually come through in terms of sales growth. And some of the places where you can find out about this finally is through reading trade journals. That's where, in truth, I spend a lot of my time sort of looking at things, just reading from a non-stock basis. In other words, I'm just looking at technological developments, trying to find out what is going on, and then trying to see which companies have positioned themselves to benefit. So that's my video for this week. The 5 elements to successful big gains, growth stock picking that you can try for yourself at home. Alternately, if you want a newsletter service, investment newsletter service that exclusively focuses on that, try profitsunlimited.com. We have 7 other services on top of that. If you're interested, you can go to Mampilly Guru, which is another link down below. So if you like the content on this video and you want to help us out, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and put some comments below if you use these ways to find your stocks, and I'll have another video for you next week. Until then, this is Paul saying bye.